Hi, everyone, and welcome to Abbey Research Reads. I am Dr. Kristen Donnelly of the Good Doctors of Abbey Research. And in this series, we talk about books that we have come across that we think are important, or books that have gotten a lot of buzz and our thoughts on them. This book is in both categories. It's called Notes on a Silencing by Lacy Crawford. It's a memoir of sexual assault at a New England boarding school, a very prestigious one, by a woman named Lacy Crawford. This has been hyped for a long time, not only because the school in question, St. Paul's, is no stranger to scandal, but because as Lacy was writing this book, friends of hers, colleagues of hers, and her herself talked about it and told us that this was coming. When Lacy was in high school, she was raped orally by two children in her boarding house. And the major impetus is that she got herpes really, really deep in her throat. And essentially, she was gaslit by doctors and by school officials and by a whole host of people throughout her life, and being told that she was crazy and that wasn't possible. And doctors that she trusted kept looking at her and going, no, 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 no. This is herpes and you can't get it anywhere. It's only in your mouth. And, you know, she didn't even know it was an assault, really. It all happened too fast. Some very, very common hallmarks of sexual assault, especially against teenage girls. She writes very honestly, and juxtaposes it not only with her journey through St. Paul's, but then her journey after St. Paul's to get justice. Like I said, St. Paul's is no stranger to scandal. It's really struggled with protecting students versus protecting institution. It's one of the ones. I don't know a whole lot about it. It certainly wasn't a school that I wanted to attend or had on my radar. I knew of it when I was growing up because I had Ivy League dreams, and it was kind of told to me by a guidance counselor that if I wanted to get into an Ivy, I needed to go to some place like St. Paul's. My parents would have never gone for it, so I didn't even bother. And when I read stories of boarding schools, I'm especially glad. I wasn't ready for anything that they talk about. I wasn't developmentally ready to leave my house at all. And I'm very grateful that past Kristen did not push the issue or try to advocate for it in any way, and even though I do not believe my parents would have gone for it. But that's neither here nor there. This is a rough sit. She is not graphic to the point of luridness, but honest about how her body reacted to the assault, what the herpes meant in her throat and how that functioned. But she's also very honest about how she was ignored and told that she was crazy and paid off by St. Paul's, either emotionally or I believe they tried financially. I could be wrong. I'm forgetting that element of the story. They've certainly tried to make other cases of allegations against them go away. That's pretty well documented, as most institutions do. If you're a fan of this channel, you know that we've talked about the Catholic Church, we've talked about USA Gymnastics, we've talked about Boy Scouts of America. There's lots and lots of other institutions that we can and will be talking about that choose institution over individual. And St. Paul's is simply one in a long, long list. This book is getting a ton of buzz because it's a very frank account of sexual assault, and we don't have a lot of those from the perspective of survivors in this manner. I don't know if it'll make a lot of year-end lists. I think it was a casualty of 2020 in that it was graphic and important, but sexual assault was not the national conversation this year. And so I don't know if it'll end up. It's on my top 10 list for sure of things that I believe are important reads, important empathy building reads for this year. I recommend it highly, especially if you are somebody who has not experienced sexual assault yourself or has not been in a personal and or intimate relationship with somebody who has. Lacy is very honest about the emotional baggage, and I think it's an important thing for all of us to sit with. So that's it for me today in this edition of Abbey Research Reads. We'll see you next time. Bye.